Yeah, I mean, there's so much. There's renaissance too, of like third-party content and stuff for D&D is actually
Yeah,
pretty
yeah. Oh
amazing.
yeah, no, I'm capitalizing on that, right? So
Yes, and there's a lot of really good stuff. I mean, I'd say like the third part. There's arguably a lot of the third-party stuff is better than the original content stuff, more unique,
I remember back in
dynamic.
the day when the third party stuff was absolutely pathetic, and
Yeah.
it just has been getting better and better. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah. I
remember
mean,
when Judges Guild was the best we could get.
yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, now we got the Cthulhu mythos. There's Kobold Press. Um,
Pelgrane
there's
Press.
yeah, Frog God Games. I mean, everybody's putting out actual quality stuff. And plus, the market's there. Like part of the problem is if you're not going to invest a lot of time in something if you're not going to get a lot of sales. Like you just can't make, even if you love it, you can't live off of like top ramen in your mother's basement your whole life just because you love writing adventures. You
No,
know?
it's true. So, but I'm fortunately in a position where I can kind of do it because I'm so renowned as the guy that did the first Cthulhu game.
Yeah.
And so the assumption is I must know Cthulhu really well. And the truth is I do know it pretty well. I've been living it for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I put stuff, actually the source book for 5e I mean, it has a lot more subtle and interesting, I think, details than I had in the original Call of Cthulhu because, I'm older and figured out more stuff. And so it's got interesting ways, like the monsters in it, the gods in, have you read the 5e book?
For Call of Cthulhu?
First Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, Cthulhu Mythos. I have not read them. No.
Well, one of the features in it is that Cthulhu he's not a giant monster with hit points, of course. I mean, why would he be, right? But
Yes.
he is there physically because you want to have him appear. So what he is like an environmental effect that has stages it goes through. So initially, like everyone's having this telepathy, horrifying images in their head, and the geometry of the world is starting to change. So like when you're running away from Cthulhu, it takes further than if you're going towards him. And then as he gets more powerful, the images bombarding you become stronger. People of weak minds start to go insane. And now running away, like you actually go in a loop because the geometry is really twisting out. Then eventually, like the geometry starts popping out creatures from non-Euclidean angles, and everyone's is a world of madness. And that's just as Cthulhu grows in power, it's like the rules of the universe are changing. So
Yes.
It's not just a matter of a giant tentacle monster. It's like it's really bad.
Yeah, that makes it way worse. I mean, I didn't read the whole book, but I was thumbing through it, and I actually was looking at his specifically, and I was like, oh, there's no hit points. I remember seeing that.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
Then you can do things to drive him back down a level, but the basic principle is you can see how and all the gods do that. They all have features that become more and more.
Well, I was expecting like some kind of Pathfinder thing where it's like Cthulhu was like a DC 35 or something, but it was like no hit points. So I was like, whatever. I mean, if you think about it, it's a cosmic force. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I decreed right from the start in Pathfinder says he's not going to be a monster you go and kill. He's going to be a thing that's changing the universe in a way that the players don't like.
Yes.
He's opening up the angles. His mind is contacting theirs. Of course, he's also a giant tentacle monster full of protoplasm that's filling the world. But that's like almost not the main.
Yeah, that's not even scary because it's like if something's tangible, you can obviously affect it, right?
Yeah.
But if something is not tangible, but it's influencing people, that's the more scary thing.
Anyway, so that's what it's like. And like the Cthulhu magic in the game is actually not like regular spells that the wizards learn. It's a new kind of magic that anyone can learn.
Oh, okay.
But it does very specific things. It's lengthy rituals that you have to keep track of in advance. So it's like cult. You feel like a cultist when you're doing it, instead of like a magic user, which is how I think it should be for that magic. Yeah,
it's cool.
There's plenty of ordinary magic spells you already have in D&D that are a little bit horrific, right?
Yes.
But having these special magics is more insane. And
yeah, like that's all kind of like a warlock type thing. Like you have to sack. To me, it's something where it's like you have to sack her. Like I do like they have the warlock that has the pact of the great old ones, and it's kind of like you're sacrificing something. And supposedly, I mean, I played one. I always played him as like a totally crazy guy, and
well, I think you should.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
And every time he he gets crazier when he casts spells and all that kind of stuff because that's what he. his
And
magic
then
does.
yeah, sure. And then there's, I mean, we added characters. You could be a ghoul, you can be a cat, right? We
Yeah.
call it the dreamless cat, but it's really just a cat. The idea is that all cats have a dreamlands form. So when you're the dreamlands cat, you're not like a super cat. You're just like a cat that is maintaining its intelligence more than the dreamlands. But you're still a cat, so you still like tuna fish, and you still bite people to pet you, and you're an asshole because you're a cat.
Yeah. You bite them if they don't pet you in the right spot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like and then the idea is I thought people would like to play that kind of cat.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
Is there?
and the
What
other
did you
thing
add?
is that
Was it 4 or 5 new races? I forget off the top
there's
of my
4
head.
new races. There's the cats, and the cats also have the feature that if they want, they can go to the Dreamlands where they're intelligent always, but they can come back the regular way when they're not sapient in the regular world of the players. So they can choose to like this time I'm not going to be an intelligent cat. I'm just going to be a cat.
Yeah.
So there's the ghouls, there's the cats, there's the Nori, which are a underwater race Lovecraft didn't talk much about, so I had to make almost all of it up myself. But one of their features is that they can morph the number of arms they have from 2 to 3 to 4 and do different things. And then there's the Zoogs, which are from Lovecraft's closest thing to a fantasy he wrote, which is the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. And they're small little creatures that like to eat cats, so that's always good. Keep the number of cats down.
Right.
And,
good. So you could have a cat and one of those in the party and have some real fun.
Oh yeah, you'll have a lot of fun. And then and the Zoogs, they work in groups. They live in forests. They set traps for people. They're small, so they aren't going to. I mean, I guess you could be a Zoog warrior, but like you're going to be using a knife the size of a switchblade is all. So it's probably better to be something more. The same goes for cats, of course.
Yes, like rogues and things like that.
Yeah,
cool.
Rogues and magicians and maybe priests. I don't know. Cats are very religious, but
you never know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what they think?
They're certainly more reverent than dogs, right? So
right, yeah. There you go. Cool. Yeah. What else do we have? So yeah, I mean, it's definitely. What else is in there? You added some monsters in there, right? Besides Cthulhu, there's a monster section. There's
I mean, there's like 100 monsters in it,
Yeah.
So if you need to have a giant monster with an AC 35 or whatever, that's there for you, right?
Yes.
You can have a Shoggoth or a Starspawn or whatever. You can have monsters, and it goes into not all the monsters are unstoppable horrors that you can't defeat. There's monsters that you can face. Maybe there's there's Zoogs, for example, that are about the size of a badger. So I guess a high level Zoog might be hard, but there's plenty of Zoogs that are badger-sized sapients,
like kobolds or something. Basically,
ghouls aren't that much tougher than a person, so it scales all up and down. So there's a variety of things, and the idea is that that you're playing this, and you're not necessarily having every single monster in a campaign replaced with Cthulhu monsters. I suppose you could, but that you're having like these come in at appropriate moments when you want to have things be creepy.
Yes, and also like in the snake, what is it, Yig Snake Granddaddy? You have like some cyborg dinosaurs.
Yes. The Yethians are scientifically advanced, so they're plugging in the dinosaurs and the pterodactyls to give you better things. Or in Ghoul Island, we have stuff like, we know that the deep ones mate with humans to make more deep ones. So we have deep apes, where I guess the deep one's mated with an ape, and so there's like a new type of deep one that is not as smart, but it's a lot stronger. So, so
nasty.
We try to be original about that kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of original stuff. I like how it's just different, Yeah. Like it's not the same tropes. It's not the same.
That was my goal, is to have things that would be unusual. Partly because we already have great campaigns that are the normal ones, so we don't need more of those necessarily. And the other is that it's often hard that campaigns with really weird stuff like this, I think, are likelier to set off light bulbs in game masters' heads. They go, "Oh, I can do this with it now," or "I can apply this to another campaign," or it's like just giving them ideas to play with.
Yes, exactly.